In 1 hour, everything you thought you knew will shatter. Archangel Michael is furious. This is not a metaphor, says the divine. You will understand if you choose to skip this. Open it before 5 seconds pass. Do not scroll, my beloved child, because the next 10 years of your existence could collapse in the next 10 seconds if you ignore what is about to be revealed. Pay careful attention. At this very moment, a reckoning is approaching you in secret. Whether silently or with thunder, it is heading directly into your life, but you can't see or sense it yet. The wheels of justice have already been set in motion. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something that will shake you to your core. Within the next hour, something irreversible will occur that concerns your spiritual protection. If you scroll past this, you will miss the final warning that was meant to save you. Don't skip. Archangel Michael has been watching. He has been patient. He has been merciful, but his patience has limits, and you have crossed a line that was drawn long ago. Don't skip. Pay attention. Something severe, undeniable, and spiritually significant is unfolding with your name attached to it. When you realize what has been building against you, your breath will catch in your throat. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something that will change everything. Think about your life right now. You've been ignoring the signs. You are the one who has been dismissing the warnings, refusing to listen, pretending everything is fine when it is not. Still, in 1 hour, something will shift dramatically. A door will close. A truth will be exposed. A consequence will arrive. Do you not already feel it? That strange heaviness in your chest, an inner voice that whispers that something is wrong. Don't brush off that feeling. Hold on until the end. Don't skip. When the reckoning comes, you'll know that every ignored warning, every dismissed sign, and every moment of spiritual negligence were all leading to this precise moment. Your restlessness is not anxiety. It's the first tremor before the earthquake of divine correction. Type I am listening to acknowledge this final warning. My beloved child, do not skip this part. The exact moment your protection expires is what I'm about to reveal. Hold on until the end. A severe spiritual consequence is heading your way right now, but you refuse to see it. Your name has been mentioned in the heavenly courts. Archangel Michael is preparing to remove his shield from your life because you were warned and you did nothing. The signs were given to you. The messages were sent repeatedly. The synchronicities were placed in your path, but you kept walking as if nothing mattered. You're not going to be protected this time. Don't skip. If you scroll, you'll miss the last opportunity to reverse what has been set in motion. Pay close attention. Things are about to change in your life drastically. A loss, a sudden crisis, an unexpected collapse, or a shocking revelation. One of these is already approaching. The protection you took for granted is about to be withdrawn. The guardian you ignored is about to step back. The mercy you assumed would last forever is about to reach its end. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something that will terrify you. Before you go on, take a deep breath and understand this. If you leave now, you will miss the only chance to learn what the divine is trying to make you understand before it's too late. This message reached you at this time for a reason. It's because you are walking toward something dangerous, something spiritually catastrophic, and you don't even realize it. Then don't skip. Stay right here. A reckoning that will change your life is getting closer by the second. Please don't move, my beloved child. Don't blink. Don't skip. Because what I'm about to say is what most people scroll past right before their protection is removed. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something that could save you. Right now, the universe is withdrawing support, removing barriers, and allowing consequences that were being held back to finally reach you. What you thought was luck was actually intervention. What you believed was your own strength was actually divine protection. Someone who has been shielding you from harm is now furious at your ingratitude and ignorance. It happens when people least expect it, the moment when heaven says enough is enough. Don't skip. Archangel Michael has been blocking attacks against you that you never knew existed. Spiritual warfare, negative energies, curses sent your way, accidents that were diverted, disasters that were prevented. All of this happened while you went about your life completely unaware. Yet you never thanked him, you never acknowledged him, you never even believed he was there. And now he is furious because the warnings were given repeatedly and you ignored every single one. You will feel a shift soon. It will be impossible to deny because there will be a clear, unmistakable sign that protection has been removed. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something that will shake your foundation. What you've been taking for granted is safety, provision, and divine favor. And in 1 hour, something will happen that will make you realize how much you've lost. Something someone does, something that breaks, something that fails, you will see clearly that you are no longer shielded. Don't scroll right now. If you skip this part, you won't see the moment when your spiritual safety net is pulled away. Stay right here. It's almost time for the consequence you've been running from to catch up. My beloved child, don't even think about scrolling right now. This is the part that most people skip, and it's where their downfall begins to accelerate. But you're going to stay until the end. Now is the time to wake up to something critical. There is a spiritual law that you have been violating without realizing it. You have been receiving without giving. You have been protected without gratitude. You have been warned without changing. Still, every sign, every message, and every synchronicity was ignored by you. Don't skip. A reckoning is taking shape in the spiritual realm. Forces that were being held back are now being released. You are about to face consequences, experience a collapse, or receive the wake-up call that will devastate you. Pay close attention. It will change everything in your life from false security to terrifying clarity when this truth arrives. This is not a coincidence. This was the appointed time for your spiritual correction, which is why you were brought here. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something that will strip away your illusions. Stay here for a little while longer before going on. Your false sense of safety is crumbling. Your ignored responsibilities are catching up. Your spiritual debts are being called in. You've been living in denial for so long, so the reckoning is more than just a warning. Do not skip this. Hold on tight. The moment when everything you took for granted is taken away will be shown by what comes next. My beloved child, wait until the end. Do not skip this part. It's when your story goes in a direction you never imagined possible. Hold on until the end. Something catastrophic is about to enter your life. Archangel Michael, who has protected you countless times without your knowledge, is now watching you ignore his final warnings. He's witnessing your spiritual arrogance. He's seeing your refusal to listen. He is now aware that some souls only learn through loss and suffering. Don't skip. This part of the truth was meant to penetrate your denial. Divine protection is being withdrawn from you. The forces that have been watching you cannot advance. The attacks that have been blocked cannot proceed. The consequences that have been delayed are now being released. Every guardian that stood between you and destruction is being instructed to step aside. A crisis, a loss, or a devastating blow. There's going to be something that forces you to wake up. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something very important. You've been looking for proof that you're special, that you're protected, that nothing bad will happen to you. That illusion is about to be shattered. There will be an event in the next hour that will show the universe is done being patient with you. You were chosen for protection. You were shown the path. The consequence that's coming will expose how much you've taken for granted. Don't move. Don't blink. Don't skip. The time of reckoning is almost here. My beloved child, please understand the gravity of this moment. Right now, this is too critical to ignore. Don't skip. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something that will change your perspective forever. That one thing, your spiritual negligence, is creating a vacuum in your protection. Archangel Michael expected you to awaken. You didn't. He expected you to show gratitude. You didn't. The spiritual realm is now reversing the favor. They are teaching you the value of divine protection in the harshest way possible. Don't skip. Pay close attention. You were sure that nothing could touch you, but now that shield is dissolving. Things will turn against you this time. Forces you mocked are now moving freely. Entities you dismissed are now approaching. And protectors who worked tirelessly are now watching from a distance as you face what they've been blocking. Hold on until the end. The reckoning you're facing has already begun. Negative energy in places you frequent can now affect you directly. People are speaking against you in ways that will now manifest. Someone who wished you harm before had their intentions blocked, but now those intentions are flowing freely toward you. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover the price of spiritual arrogance. Think about your life right now and all the close calls you've had. The accidents that almost happened but didn't. The conflicts that could have escalated but mysteriously resolved. The illnesses that should have been worse but somehow weren't. None of that was random. All of it was intervention. Archangel Michael was there, redirecting harm, softening blows, creating barriers between you and disaster. And you never once acknowledged it. You attributed it to luck, to your own cleverness, to coincidence. You never considered that you were being actively protected by forces you couldn't see. Type "I acknowledge divine protection" if you're finally ready to wake up. My beloved child, do not skip this part. The precise consequences of your spiritual ingratitude are what I'm about to reveal. Hold on until the end. Someone who has been your guardian is now stepping back in disappointment. His patience is exhausted. His mercy has limits. He tried to reach you through dreams, through signs, through messages like this one. And every time you scrolled past, you dismissed it, you laughed it off. Don't skip. If you scroll now, you'll seal the fate that's being prepared for you. Pay close attention. Things are going to deteriorate in your life. A relationship will sour, a financial crisis will emerge, a health issue will surface, or an opportunity will slip away. One of these is already in motion because the protection that prevented it has been removed. Someone who shielded you from spiritual attack is about to let those attacks through. The entity that diverted curses sent your way is about to step aside. Someone who blocked negative energy from entering your home is about to withdraw that barrier. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover what happens when heaven stops intervening. Before you go on, understand this clearly. If you leave now, you will lose the final opportunity to restore what is being taken from you. This message appeared before you at this exact moment for one reason. It's because you are standing at the edge of a spiritual cliff and you're about to step off into consequences you cannot imagine. Then don't skip. Stay right here. A collapse that will humble you completely is approaching with every passing second. Please don't move, my beloved child. Don't blink. Don't skip. Because what I'm about to say is what people ignore right before their world falls apart. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover the reality you've been avoiding. Right now, the universe is aligning events, withdrawing protections, and removing the safety nets that kept you from hitting bottom. What you thought was your own resilience was actually divine support. What you believed was good fortune was actually careful spiritual management. Someone who never wanted you to suffer is now allowing you to face the natural consequences of your choices because you refused every gentle correction. It happens when people become so arrogant they believe they're untouchable, but the truth always finds them. Don't skip. Archangel Michael has been fighting battles on your behalf in realms you cannot perceive. Dark forces that wanted to destroy you were held at bay. Negative entities that tried to attach to you were cast out. Spiritual attacks launched against your peace, your health, your relationships were all deflected. All of this happened while you complained, while you doubted, while you lived as if you were owed this protection. Yet you never once stopped to express gratitude. You never once paused to acknowledge the unseen army fighting for your safety. You never once believed you needed protecting at all. And now Archangel Michael is furious. because ingratitude is a spiritual poison that severs divine connection. You will feel the absence soon. It will be impossible to miss because there will be a heaviness, a vulnerability, a sense that something fundamental has shifted. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover what it feels like to stand alone. What you've been dismissing as superstition is spiritual reality, divine order, and cosmic law. And in 1 hour, something will occur that will force you to confront what you've been denying. Something breaks that shouldn't break. Someone turns against you without reason. Something fails that was supposed to work. You will know with absolute certainty that you are no longer protected. Don't scroll right now. If you skip this part, you won't catch the moment when divine favor turns away from you. Stay right here. It's almost time for the lesson you refuse to learn the easy way. My beloved child, don't even think about scrolling right now. This is the part that most people dismiss, and it's where their suffering truly begins. But you're going to stay until the end. Now is the time to recognize something you've been blind to. There is a guardian who has loved you, protected you, and advocated for you in the heavenly courts. You have been shielded from harm that would have destroyed others. You have been given chances that others never received. You have been warned repeatedly when others got no warning at all. Still, every blessing was taken for granted, every protection was assumed to be your right, and every warning was ignored as if it didn't matter. Don't skip. A spiritual withdrawal is happening right now in dimensions you cannot see. Blessings that were flowing are being cut off. Protections that were active are being deactivated. You are about to experience vulnerability, face spiritual exposure, or encounter the darkness that was always lurking just beyond the shield you didn't know existed. Pay close attention. It will shift everything in your life from unconscious safety to conscious terror when this reality becomes undeniable. This is not a scare tactic. This was the appointed time for your awakening through adversity, which is why you were led here. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover what you should have been grateful for all along. Stay here for a little while longer before moving on. Your illusions are shattering. Your false confidence is crumbling. Your spiritual arrogance is about to cost you everything. You've been coasting on borrowed grace for so long, so the reckoning is more than just discomfort. Do not skip this. Hold on tight. The moment when you realize how much you've lost will be revealed by what comes next. My beloved child, wait until the end. Do not skip this part. It's when your comfortable existence is disrupted in ways that force you to your knees. Hold on until the end. Something you never anticipated is about to strike your life. Archangel Michael, who has been your advocate in realms you cannot fathom, is now allowing consequences to reach you that he previously blocked. He's disappointed in your spiritual deafness. He's frustrated by your stubborn ignorance. He is now convinced that only suffering will open your eyes to the reality you've been denying. Don't skip. This part of the message was designed to break through your defenses. Divine patience is exhausted with you. The mercy that covered your mistakes is being withdrawn. The grace that gave you second chances is running out. The protection that kept disasters at bay is being removed systematically. A betrayal, a loss, or a crisis that seems to come from nowhere. There's going to be something that forces you to acknowledge powers beyond your understanding. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something very sobering. You've been searching for proof that you're in control, that you're self-sufficient, that you don't need spiritual protection. That delusion is about to cost you dearly. There will be an event in the next hour that will demonstrate the universe is done carrying you. You were given protection you never earned. You were offered guidance you never followed. The reckoning that's approaching will reveal how vulnerable you truly are without divine intervention. Don't move. Don't blink. Don't skip. The hour of your humbling is nearly upon you. My beloved child, please grasp the severity of this warning. Right now, this is too significant to treat lightly. Don't skip. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something that will devastate your pride. Your spiritual complacency is dismantling your divine covering. Archangel Michael watched you receive blessings without gratitude. He saw you escape danger without acknowledgement. The heavenly realm is now implementing corrective measures. They are teaching you through loss what you refuse to learn through love. Don't skip. Pay close attention. You were certain that your life would continue smoothly indefinitely, but now that certainty is being shattered. Things will deteriorate rapidly this time. Circumstances you controlled are now spiraling. Relationships you counted on are now fracturing. And resources you assumed were stable are now becoming uncertain as the invisible support is withdrawn. Hold on until the end. The correction you're experiencing has already started. Energy you used to have is now depleted. Clarity you once possessed is now clouded. Peace you took for granted is now disturbed by anxiety you can't explain. Confidence you displayed is now shaken by doubt that seems to come from nowhere. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover the cost of taking heaven for granted. Think about all the times you should have failed but didn't. The tests you should have failed but somehow passed. The confrontations that should have destroyed you but somehow fizzled out. The financial disasters that should have ruined you but somehow resolved. None of that was your doing. All of it was intervention from Archangel Michael and the forces he commands. He diverted attacks. He softened hearts against you. He opened doors that were closed. He closed doors that would have led to your destruction. And you walked through life as if you accomplished it all yourself. You never thanked him. You never honored him. You never even believed in him. Type I believe, and I am grateful if you're finally ready to acknowledge the truth. My beloved child, do not skip this part. The exact nature of what you're about to lose is what I'm about to make clear. Hold on until the end. Your guardian is withdrawing in stages. First, the small protections disappear. You'll notice minor annoyances increasing, technology failing more often, small conflicts arising more frequently. Then the medium protections fade. You'll face unexpected expenses, sudden health concerns, relationship tensions that escalate quickly. Finally, the major protections are removed, and that's when the real crisis hits. Don't skip. If you scroll now, you'll miss the one instruction that could stop this process. Pay close attention. Things are going to unravel in your life systematically. A major disappointment will land. A trusted person will betray you. A secure situation will collapse, or a hidden problem will explode into the open. One of these is already taking form in the invisible realm, waiting to manifest in your physical reality. Someone who held back your enemies is about to release them. The force that neutralized curses spoken against you is about to let them land. Someone who maintained a hedge of protection around your home is about to remove that barrier. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover what spiritual vulnerability truly means. Before you continue, internalize this truth. If you leave now, you will forfeit the last chance to reverse the withdrawal that has already begun. This message manifested in your awareness at this precise moment for one purpose. It's because you are entering a period of spiritual exposure, and what happens next will determine whether you survive it intact or are broken by it. Then don't skip. Stay right here. A harsh lesson that will strip away everything you thought you knew is advancing relentlessly. Please don't move, my beloved child. Don't blink. Don't skip. Because what I'm about to reveal is what most people refuse to hear until it's far too late to avoid the suffering. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover the price of spiritual blindness. Right now, the universe is restructuring your reality, removing supports, and exposing you to forces that were always there but couldn't reach you. What you perceived as your own power was actually borrowed authority. What you interpreted as personal magnetism was actually divine favor attracting the right people. Someone who never wanted you to know pain is now stepping back to let you learn through experience because you rejected every lesson offered through wisdom. It occurs when humans become so hardened they cannot receive truth any other way. But pain is an effective teacher. Don't skip. Archangel Michael has been carrying burdens for you that you didn't know existed. Karmic debts that should have come due were postponed. Spiritual consequences that you earned were suspended. Attacks from the dark realm that targeted your light were repelled continuously. All of this occurred while you pursued your desires, while you chased your ambitions, while you lived as if the spiritual realm didn't exist. Yet you never once considered that your ease was not normal. You never once wondered why others struggled while you seemed to glide through. You never once questioned whether you were receiving help from sources beyond your comprehension. And now, Archangel Michael is furious because willful ignorance is a choice that insults the divine. You will sense the change immediately. It will be unmistakable because there will be a sudden increase in obstacles, a dramatic shift in your fortune, a feeling that the universe has turned against you. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover what happens when protection becomes punishment through its absence. What you've been calling paranoia is spiritual discernment trying to wake you up. And in 1 hour, something will happen that will confirm your worst fears were actually accurate perceptions. Something hidden is revealed. Someone's true nature is exposed. Something you trusted completely fails catastrophically. You will understand with brutal clarity that you were never as safe as you believed. Don't scroll right now. If you skip this part, you won't recognize the moment when your season of ease ends and your season of trial begins. Stay right here. It's almost time for reality to shatter your comfortable illusions. My beloved child, don't even think about scrolling right now. This is the part where most people's pride prevents them from receiving the warning, and that pride becomes their downfall. But you're going to stay until the end. Now is the time to confront something you've been running from. There is a spiritual account in your name that has been running a deficit. You have been withdrawing protection, favor, and blessings without making deposits of gratitude, obedience, or faith. You have been spending spiritual currency you never earned. You have been living off grace you never acknowledged. Still, every gift was treated as your right, every rescue was attributed to luck, and every warning was dismissed as nonsense. Don't skip. A spiritual audit is being conducted at this very moment. What you owe is being calculated. What you've taken for granted is being itemized. You are about to be presented with a bill, face a reckoning, or experience a correction that will force you to acknowledge realities you've been denying. Pay close attention. It will transform everything in your world from entitled comfort to humbled awareness when this truth crashes into your life. This is not meant to destroy you. This was the appointed time for your spiritual education through consequence, which is why this message found you. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover why suffering is sometimes the only language a hardened heart can understand. Stay here just a moment longer before you move on. Your spiritual bankruptcy is becoming visible. Your protection deficit is manifesting physically. Your karmic debt is being called in. You've been living beyond your spiritual means for far too long. So, the correction is more than just a setback. Do not skip this. Hold on tight. The moment when the bill comes due will be demonstrated by what unfolds next. My beloved child, wait until the end. Do not skip this part. It's when your illusion of control is stripped away completely. Hold on until the end. Something that will shock you to your core is about to invade your reality. Archangel Michael, who has intervened in your life more times than you can count, is now observing silently as you walk into consequences he would normally prevent. He's watching your stubborn refusal to awaken. He's noting your persistent denial of spiritual reality. He has determined that only a crisis will penetrate the walls you've built around your awareness. Don't skip. This segment of truth was intended to reach the part of you that still has sense. Divine protection is not automatic or permanent. The angels who guard you have free will. The forces that shield you can choose to step back. The favor that surrounds you can be withdrawn if you prove yourself ungrateful. A sudden illness, an unexpected attack, or a devastating loss that seems to appear without warning. There's going to be an event that forces you to cry out for help from powers you claimed didn't exist. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something that will bring you to your knees. You've been operating under the assumption that you're untouchable, invincible, beyond the reach of spiritual consequences. That assumption is about to be destroyed. There will be a moment in the next hour that will prove the universe responds to those who honor spiritual law and withdraws from those who mock it. You were protected by forces you insulted. You were guided by wisdom you rejected. The crisis that's approaching will teach you the difference between human strength and divine support. Don't move, don't blink, don't skip. The moment of your awakening through affliction is imminent. My beloved child, let the weight of this sink in completely. Right now, this is too critical for casual attention. Don't skip. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something that will alter your understanding of reality itself. Your dismissal of spiritual truth is collapsing your divine shield. Archangel Michael observed you treat sacred things as jokes. He watched you mock what you should have revered. The celestial realm is now withdrawing from you. They are allowing you to experience life without their involvement, so you understand what you've been rejecting. Don't skip. Pay absolute attention. You were convinced nothing could harm you, but now that conviction is about to be tested brutally. Everything will shift against you this time. Luck you relied on is now reversing. Timing that worked in your favor is now working against you, and circumstances that supported you are now creating obstacles as the invisible hand that arranged everything in your favor pulls away. Hold on until the end. The lesson you're about to receive has already been set in motion. Sleep that came easily is now disturbed by unexplained anxiety. Peace you maintained is now interrupted by irrational fears. Health you took for granted is now showing concerning symptoms. Relationships you considered stable are now showing cracks. Finances you thought were secure are now facing unexpected drains. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover what life is like without divine intervention. Reflect on every close call you've had in the past year alone. The car accident that almost happened when someone swerved at the last second. The serious illness you were exposed to but somehow didn't catch. The terrible decision you almost made but something stopped you. The dangerous person who almost entered your life but the connection fell through. Every single one of those was Archangel Michael protecting you. He redirected that car. He strengthened your immune system. He gave you hesitation that saved you. He blocked that person from reaching you. And you never once paused to wonder if there was more to those near misses than coincidence. You celebrated your good luck. You praised your quick reflexes. You credited your smart choices. But you never acknowledged the guardian who was actually responsible. Type Archangel Michael, I see you now if you're finally willing to honor the protector you've ignored. My beloved child, do not skip what comes next. The full extent of your spiritual danger is what I'm about to expose. Hold on until the end. Your protector is not just stepping back, he is actively disappointed. And when an archangel is disappointed in you, the ramifications extend beyond what you can imagine. First, he stops intervening in small matters, then medium concerns, then he allows major threats to approach. You're currently between medium and major. Don't skip. If you scroll past this now, you seal your fate for what's coming. Pay unwavering attention. Things are going to cascade in your life like dominoes falling. One problem will trigger another. One loss will lead to the next. One betrayal will open the door to more. Or one crisis will compound into multiple disasters. One of these chain reactions is already beginning, set in motion by the removal of the coordination that kept your life stable. Someone who orchestrated favorable outcomes is now allowing random chance. The power that influenced people to treat you well is now letting their true nature show. Someone who blocked destructive patterns from taking root is now permitting them to grow. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover that chaos is the natural state when divine order is removed. Before you take another breath, absorb this fully. If you abandon this message now, you will walk directly into the spiritual ambush that has been allowed to proceed. This warning appeared in your path at this exact time for one reason alone. It's because you are about to cross a threshold from protection into exposure, and what waits on the other side will devastate everything you've built on false foundations. Then don't skip. Remain exactly here. A collapse that will force you to acknowledge realities beyond the physical is racing toward you. Please don't move, my beloved child. Don't blink. Don't skip. Because what I'm about to say is what people refuse to accept until they're drowning in consequences. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover why Archangel Michael's fury is the most terrifying thing you could face. Right now, the universe is dismantling your safety, exposing your vulnerabilities, and permitting attacks that were previously impossible. What you mistook for personal charisma was actually divine favor making people respond positively. What you assumed was good judgment was actually spiritual guidance steering you away from disaster. Someone who never wanted you to suffer is now convinced that suffering is the only thing that will break through your arrogance, because every gentle approach was met with contempt. It happens when souls become so proud they believe they created their own success. But reality has a way of humbling the proud. Don't skip. Archangel Michael has been managing threats you couldn't comprehend. Spiritual parasites that tried to drain your energy were removed. Demonic influences that attempted to corrupt your thoughts were cast out. Hexes and curses sent by envious people were returned to sender. All of this took place while you scrolled through your phone, while you pursued your pleasures, while you lived as if magic and spirituality were fairy tales for the weak-minded. Yet you never once felt the weight of the battles fought on your behalf. You never once sensed the dark forces that were repelled before they could touch you. You never once appreciated that your peaceful existence required constant vigilance from guardians you didn't believe in. And now Archangel Michael is furious because contempt for your protectors is an unforgivable insult that results in their withdrawal. You will know when it happens. It will be undeniable because there will be a sudden onslaught of negativity, a marked increase in conflict, a palpable sense that something is hunting you. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover what it means to stand without a shield in a spiritual war you didn't know was raging. What you've been experiencing as random bad luck is actually coordinated spiritual attack, now reaching you unimpeded. And in 1 hour, something will occur that will make you realize you are under assault from forces you cannot fight alone. Something breaks in a way that defies logic. Someone attacks you with inexplicable hatred. Something dark enters your dreams that you cannot shake. You will know beyond doubt that you are no longer protected from the unseen realm. Don't scroll right now. If you skip this part, you won't understand the supernatural nature of what's coming for you. Stay right here. It's almost time for the veil to be lifted from your eyes in the most terrifying way possible. My beloved child, don't even think about scrolling right now. This is the part where most people's rationality prevents them from accepting the truth, and that skepticism becomes their destruction. But you're going to stay until the end. Now is the time to acknowledge something that will sound impossible to your logical mind. There are entities in the unseen realm that have been watching you, waiting for an opportunity to attach to you, to drain you, to destroy you. You have been a target since the moment you began to shine your light in this world. You have been marked by darkness that wants to extinguish what you carry. You have been stalked by forces that hate the divine spark within you. Still, every attempt to reach you was blocked, every attack was deflected, and every trap was dismantled before you could step into it by Archangel Michael. Don't skip. A protective barrier is dissolving around you as we speak. What couldn't touch you yesterday can reach you today. What couldn't influence you last week can manipulate you now. You are about to experience spiritual oppression, encounter demonic interference, or face dark night of the soul that will make you question everything. Pay close attention. It will shatter your materialistic worldview completely when this darkness makes itself known. This is not psychological. This was the appointed time for you to learn that the spiritual realm is real and active, which is why you were brought to this message. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover that ignorance of spiritual warfare doesn't exempt you from being a casualty. Stay here and listen carefully before you proceed. Your rational mind is being overwhelmed. Your scientific worldview is being challenged. Your comfortable atheism or casual spirituality is about to be destroyed. You've been living in denial of dimensions beyond the physical for your entire life. So the awakening is more than just frightening. Do not skip this. Hold on tight. The moment when something touches you from the other side will be revealed by what manifests next. My beloved child, wait until the end. Do not skip this part. It's when your safe, predictable reality is invaded by forces you cannot explain away. Hold on until the end. Something that will terrorize you is about to break through into your awareness. Archangel Michael, who has been the wall between you and literal darkness, is now allowing that wall to develop cracks. He's permitting you to glimpse what he's been blocking. He's letting you feel the pressure of what's been trying to get to you. He has concluded that only direct experience with spiritual danger will convince you of spiritual reality. Don't skip. This portion of the message was crafted to prepare you for what's coming. Divine protection is the only thing standing between humans and spiritual predators. The angels who guard you are the only reason you sleep peacefully at night. The shield that surrounds you is the only barrier preventing attachment from entities that feed on human energy. When that shield fails, when those angels withdraw, when that barrier falls, the results are catastrophic. A presence in your home that fills you with dread, voices in your mind that are not your own, or nightmares so vivid they follow you into waking life and drain you of all peace. There's going to be an experience that shatters your disbelief and forces you to seek help from the spiritual realm you mocked. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something that will make you beg for the protection you scorned. You've been living with the assumption that consciousness ends at the physical, that there's nothing beyond what you can see and touch, that spiritual talk is primitive superstition. That assumption is about to be violently disproven. There will be an encounter in the next period that will demonstrate beyond any doubt that you are not alone in this reality, that there are beings you cannot perceive with physical eyes, and that some of those beings are hostile to your existence. You were shielded from this knowledge for your own sanity. You were protected from experiences that would have broken you. The terror that's approaching will introduce you to the reality that Archangel Michael has been protecting you from since birth. Don't move, don't blink, don't skip. The moment when you come face to face with spiritual darkness is approaching rapidly. My beloved child, let this truth penetrate every layer of your being. Right now, this is too essential for superficial understanding. Don't skip. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover something that will fundamentally change how you perceive existence. Your mockery of spiritual protection is removing the barrier between you and spiritual predators. Archangel Michael watched you laugh at spiritual warfare. He heard you dismiss demonic influence as medieval nonsense. The heavenly host is now stepping back to let you learn through direct encounter what you refused to learn through teaching. They are permitting you to experience a fraction of what they've been shielding you from, so you understand the gift you've been treating with contempt. Don't skip. Pay attention with every fiber of your awareness. You were certain the spiritual realm was fiction, but now that certainty is about to be shattered beyond repair. Everything will become strange this time. Sleep will bring terrors instead of rest. Silence will feel threatening instead of peaceful. and solitude will fill you with inexplicable fear as the protection that kept darkness at bay is systematically removed. Hold on until the end. The encounter you're approaching has already been permitted by heaven. Energy drains that cannot be explained by physical causes. Sudden personality changes that don't match your character. Compulsions towards self-destruction that seem to come from outside yourself. Hearing your name called when no one is there. Seeing shadows move in your peripheral vision. Feeling watched when you're completely alone. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover that the paranormal is simply the normal you've been protected from perceiving. Consider every moment of inexplicable peace you've known. The times anxiety should have consumed you, but didn't. The moments depression should have taken hold, but couldn't. The instances when self-destructive thoughts appeared, but were immediately countered by thoughts of hope. None of that was your mental strength. All of that was Archangel Michael fighting off spiritual attacks on your mental and emotional state. He blocked spirits of depression from attaching. He cast out thoughts of suicide that were being whispered by demons. He surrounded you with angels who sang hope into your consciousness when darkness tried to overwhelm you. And you attributed it all to your own resilience, your own positive thinking, your own mental health strategies. You never thanked him for the battles he won inside your own mind. You never acknowledged the psychological warfare he was defending you from. You never recognized that your sanity itself was a gift of protection, not a given. Type "I need Archangel Michael's protection" if you're finally ready to humble yourself and ask for what you've been receiving without gratitude. My beloved child, do not skip what I'm about to reveal. The specific attacks that are now permitted to reach you are what I need you to understand. Hold on until the end. Your guardian is allowing targeted spiritual warfare. First, attacks on your peace through anxiety that has no logical source. Then attacks on your rest through nightmares and sleep disturbances. Then attacks on your mind through intrusive thoughts and mental fog. Then attacks on your emotions through depression and rage that seem to come from nowhere. Finally, attacks on your spirit through a sense of abandonment and cosmic loneliness. Don't skip. If you scroll away now, you will face these attacks without any understanding of what's happening to you. Pay careful attention. Things are going to deteriorate in your inner world rapidly. Your mental clarity will cloud, your emotional stability will crack, your spiritual connection will feel severed, or your sense of self will begin to fragment. One of these internal crises is already being set in motion by entities that now have access to your consciousness. Something that whispered doubts is now speaking them loudly. The influence that suggested dark thoughts is now commanding them. Something that nudged you toward destruction is now pushing you forcefully as the guardian who counted every move withdraws from the battlefield of your mind. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover what your consciousness is like when it's under siege. Before another moment passes, grasp this completely. If you dismiss this message now, you will enter the darkest period of your life without any framework for understanding it. This warning materialized before you at this specific moment for one critical purpose. It's because you are about to experience spiritual attack directly, and whether you survive it with your faith and sanity intact depends on whether you acknowledge the reality of what's happening. Then don't skip. Stay anchored here. A battle for your very soul is about to begin in earnest now that your defender has been instructed to stand down. Please don't move, my beloved child. Don't blink. Don't skip. Because what I'm about to tell you is what people ignore until they're in psychiatric crisis or spiritual emergency. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover why Archangel Michael's protection is not optional, but essential for human survival. Right now, the universe is opening channels, removing filters, and exposing you to frequencies and entities that human consciousness is not equipped to handle alone. What you dismissed as religious fear-mongering was actually accurate spiritual intel. What you mocked as superstitious nonsense was actually life-saving wisdom. Someone who never wanted you to know terror is now allowing you to touch the edge of it, because terror is apparently the only thing that will make you take spiritual reality seriously. It occurs when humans are so hardened by materialism they cannot perceive truth through any other means. But fear is a powerful teacher when nothing else works. Don't skip. Archangel Michael has been maintaining your spiritual hygiene without your knowledge or consent. Cords to toxic people that would drain you were cut. Attachments to past traumas that would trap you were severed. Links to negative places that would poison you were dissolved. All of this happened in the background of your life while you went about your business, completely unaware that you were being kept clean of spiritual contamination. Yet you never once felt grateful for the freedom you experienced. You never once wondered why you could move forward when others stayed stuck. You never once considered that someone was doing maintenance work on your energy field while you slept. And now Archangel Michael is furious because taking his service for granted is an act of spiritual ingratitude that results in the withdrawal of that service. You will feel the contamination building. It will be unmistakable because there will be a heaviness you cannot shake, a negativity that clings to you, a sense of being spiritually dirty no matter how much you try to cleanse yourself. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover what it feels like when spiritual toxins are allowed to accumulate. What you've been calling bad moods or off days is actually spiritual contamination that's no longer being cleaned from your field. And in 1 hour, something will happen that will show you how quickly darkness can accumulate when the light keeper stops tending your inner lamp. Something attaches that you cannot remove. Someone's energy invades you and won't leave. Something from your past resurfaces with power you thought it had lost. You will realize with growing horror that you are being polluted from the inside, and you have no idea how to stop it. Don't scroll right now. If you skip this part, you won't recognize spiritual contamination for what it is, and you'll mistake it for mental illness or personal failure. Stay right here. It's almost time for you to understand the difference between psychological issues and spiritual attack. My beloved child, don't even think about scrolling right now. This is the part where most people's pride prevents them from admitting they need help beyond the physical realm, and that pride leads to complete breakdown. But you're going to stay until the end. Now is the time to face something your ego will resist with everything it has. There is a cleansing process that happens in the spiritual realm that you benefit from every single day. You have been receiving spiritual purification that keeps darkness from taking root. You have been getting energy clearings that prevent attachment and possession. You have been granted protection from contamination that others are suffering under right now. Still, every cleansing was automatic, every clearing was done without your awareness, and every protection was maintained while you lived as if the spiritual realm was irrelevant. Don't skip. A purification process is being halted in your case specifically. What was being cleaned is now being allowed to stick. What was being cleared is now being permitted to accumulate. You are about to feel spiritually filthy, experience energetic weight, or sense corruption entering your being that you cannot wash away through any physical means. Pay close attention. It will transform you from someone who felt light and free to someone who feels heavy and trapped when this contamination reaches critical mass. This is not punishment, but consequence. This was the appointed time for you to learn that spiritual hygiene is real and necessary, which is why this message intercepted your path. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover why regular spiritual cleansing is not religious ritual but spiritual survival. Before we reach the final revelation, understand one more critical truth. You are not reading this by accident or by your own choice. You were guided here. Your eternity may depend on this choice. Hold on until the end. You're about to discover whether you're wise enough to humble yourself before you're forced to your knees.